Well, we could increase our stock of a certain material. So decision is buy more stock. So someone of the purchase team has to do an action, buy more stock. So it depends on what the thing is.
Okay, clear. So options we discussed. And then, while solving the issue, you already just mentioned a couple of very practical examples. Would you then generate several possible scenarios for solution and work on them simultaneously, or would you choose the most promising one and try that one first before you do the rest, or a combination of both?
I think it can be anything.
It depends on the issue.
No, but we have no, let's say, formal written out, if this happens, then do that.
No, of course not. It's just, I'm asking about the practice, not about the formats. So,
practice would be do the most smart thing. So.
The question is what smart thing? Sometimes it's smart to do several things.
You can only find out when you do it. So.
Yeah. But then, but let's say, in most of the cases, would you, let's say, bet on one horse, or would you try to?
But I think in reality,
if
it's doable to do two things in parallel, you could check the two, or in parallel, or rapidly the one after the other one. But in some cases, really, if the group feels that option one is really the good one, so let's first do that. Let's not spend any time on option two, unless really option one is totally not possible. So you have to know we are actually a small organization in number of people, and
you cannot also do too many things at the same time.
It's not possible to do everything.
Yeah, it's also not possible to do everything in a large organization. So it's not like it. Sometimes actually it's even less possible to do it in a large organization because by the time you get approval, maybe you already finished here testing both options. So
could be.
Okay. And then you choose the options. What kind of for the solution? What kind of criteria or selection criteria do you apply? So do you look at, let's say, profitability? You look timing. What would be the most critical ones to look at for choosing for looking for solution?
It's definitely going. Well, again, that we have no formal, let's say, decision grid on that, but in reality, it's about indeed. It's about can we deliver upon our promises? Like if we promised to deliver X pieces to the market, we have to deliver those X pieces to the market. Profitability is important indeed. You can say, okay, good, I have to deliver those 100,000 pieces, so I will do everything which is possible to deliver them. But if it costs you 5 times more than what you have to do, then then you will reconsider a bit. So profitability is definitely one. And another one is feasibility, and to what extent will it impact other things that you have to do? Because it could be that you say, yes, okay, I am able to do this, but if I do this, then I cannot do that. So then you have to look at the total picture and understand, where do I have most impact, and where do I put even myself at risk by changing those priorities?
Yeah. It's always a tricky part to find the right balance between what to do and what not to do. And in terms of the solution, to wrap up that part, who makes a final decision to go for a certain solution, and what is the overall organizational alignment about that choice?
Well, I would say if at a certain point a final decision needs to be taken, it would be at program board level. But ideally, decisions can be taken there where the solution sits.
So by the team itself.
By the team itself. So where we would strive for is that the team has actually a frame within which the team can operate. Where we say, look, this is ideal, so we strive for that, but it's sometimes not yet possible. Then we say, okay, good, this is the frame, and within that frame, basically you can do anything you want or you think is needed to get there.
I get it. So you set the frame. So kind of the big mission or big goal for the team of issue to be solved, or I don't know, reach a certain target of, I don't know, number of clients, or just saying something concrete. And then within that frame, they can decide themselves how to do that.
Yeah. So this is also linked to the masterful change approach, where basically top down you set the frame within which you're going to operate. So you set kind of the rules of the game. And there, you would leave space to people to work basically within that frame and do what is relevant to do.
Okay.
So it's not about instructing how they have to do it, but giving them a really clear frame, and that frame is top down. So it's not a frame that can basically can be decided by anyone. Really, it's a top down frame that is set. But within that frame, the team should have the possibility to work more or less autonomously. And certain important, let's say, risky or very impacting decisions, they will have typically be taken on leadership level or program board level.
Okay. Program board. Okay. And let's say what would be an example of such a frame for the supplier issue? So how would you then frame it?
Did we put a frame on it? I don't think we put a frame on that one.
No, that one is too specific to solve. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the frame was the frame was ensure that we have an alternative. So
okay. Now
that we have an alternative. That we have business continuity on the products for which we needed that supplier.
Okay.
So if we said, look, we have to produce so many 100,000s of Marie-Jaune. Well, the frame is ensure that you are able to do that with whatever solution you find out.
Okay. I think business continuity for that product line, that sounds good, because it's kind of it offers enough flexibility within. Okay, interesting. If we discussed a lot the formulation process and everything related to it, and now if you look at implementation, would you say that the strategy formulation process and implementation are two clearly divided processes, or would you consider it as one continuous development
It's
process?
one continuous thing.
Okay.
And this is how I see it. I think it's a continuous thing. Yeah. It's not like that there is kind of a submarine going under and then working out the strategy, doing nothing, and then 7 months later coming back and say, okay, start executing it now. No, it was more connected.
Okay. Yeah. And in terms of organization layers involved, we discussed the strategy formulation. That's clear. I learned your terminology, so now really I can understand. So leadership team and program board. And in terms of implementation, it's the same people that are also responsible for the implementation?
Well, of course, it's the leadership team where you have the different areas of accountability, like marketing, like sales, and so on. Where, depending on the topic, those teams will have to implement. Under guidance, of course, of the person which is then part of the leadership team, who is then responsible for marketing or for sales.
Okay. But I think it's for your organization, it's very specific and very, very clear. It's the same people that are involved in strategy formulation. They're also responsible for the operations. So
yes.
So that's
they will. For instance, if you take the sales director, she is then of course part of the leadership team and responsible to co-develop the strategy and especially around sales. But she is then of course also responsible to make sure that there is sales.
Exactly, yeah.
She will not go and sell herself, but
I
her
hope